Hello, everyone, and welcome back to episode 2 of our first Romance of the Kingdoms 2 playthrough as Gongsun Zan. I'm your host, Kane Drago. In this episode, we may or may not get to an actual attack. Alright, I forgot, I saved right after getting the soldiers, so it's not a new turn yet. In case you didn't notice, each person can only do one thing per turn. Huang Gai works for Liu Bei now, and he's right next to me. I should try to steal him. Luckily, stealing generals does not lower your trust, unless you capture them when you're allies. But just recruiting people does not. Huang Gai is quite good. He has, I think, he's kind of low in intelligence, I think, like somewhere between 40 and 60. But he has 88 war, and he has, like, I think high 60s or 70s charm as well. He's pretty good. Unsurprisingly, Jia Zhu has assumed the position of Dong Zhuo's advisor. I'm going to try this once. I don't want to waste all my people, so I'm assuming he's going to have the lowest loyalty. I'm going to try it with him. You're probably right. Yeah. You know what? Since I already went this far with it, let me do this. What is his loyalty so that I know whether it's worth my time to attempt it again or not? 83. So, yeah, so actually he's a little better overall than I thought. 60 intelligence, 73 charm. So yeah, I might be able to still get him, but probably not. And I'll just train with Zhou Yun. That's okay. I don't need to get him, it just would have been nice if I did. It's always funny to watch Liu Yong or Wang Lang or any of those guys, or Wong Long, whatever you want to call them. Well, that's one I didn't expect. I also didn't realize Cao Cao moved into 17. He fairly frequently does, but I didn't realize he had yet. It's like watching the small guys you can't play as who get beat up when they manage to get away every time they fight, and they just keep moving across all the bottom free provinces until eventually they're cornered. Well, now Dong Zhuo has decided to attack 17 and take it. The computer likes to take provinces with very, very little people, so they keep fighting over the same ones. It's actually quite amusing. Kong Rong so far is still hanging in there. I'm seriously tempted to attack Cao Cao first in 6, just so I can take Province 6 and ally with Kong Rong to try to keep him alive. Because I like Kong Rong, he's a nice guy. Yeah, see, that's where Zhou Yun is incorrect. The soldiers are trained sufficiently. No, they have not. They're not at 100. They have not trained sufficiently. I mean, theoretically, if they were at, 96 or something like that, and I only have those 3 guys, so they're all probably going to go with me when I attack somebody, then yeah, maybe I would consider it, but most likely what I'm going to do is hijack a bunch of guys from Hain Fu, which I'm actually going to try and do now. Lovely. As I say, he's far from a great general, but he's not the worst. He's in the 40s and 50s. And more importantly, it gives me bodies that potentially I can eventually leave behind to guard this province as a backup while I take my good guys somewhere else. Because what I try to avoid doing is emptying my provinces if I can help it. Because then, like right now, Hain Fu, if I invade him, can run into Province 5. And then he's stuck. Now, in that case, he'll be stuck anyway. Because there's no other. The 5's the only open one. But like that thing you're seeing with Liu Yong down along the bottom, where he just keeps running, that's a thing that will happen if I keep leaving provinces open, so I would rather not do that. So we're up to 88 training. Especially starting with Gongsun Zan, this is probably going to be a fairly long playthrough, because I do have to do a lot of prep if I want to do it carefully. But once I did get the prep done, then all bets are off and I'll start invading people. Sure it will. Boom. 100 for all my important people. And I still have the month of December to get my people's loyalty back up. He stole Pan Fang. Free general? I'm not sure I believe that. You guys can plant free generals in your province, by the way. That's why I say I don't believe that. That'll do. Lovely. So yeah, like I said, I'm pretty sure Cheng Yin works for Wan Chao. Now, like I said, Mao Ji, Li Dian, and especially Bao Xin, nothing special, but they're far from the worst guys in the game, and it gives me more bodies. So, there you go. Oops. War ability. And I got 16 soldiers out of it for free. Oh yeah, by the way, that's a good thing to note for my future when I play a Sun Jian. At the start of the second year, a bad omen hits him, and at the start of the third year, he dies. Spoiler alert. It's not really, but if you even know a hint of stuff about the legends that these are based on, he eventually dies. Tien Feng, I'd like to get him. He's not a great again, not a great fighter, but he's quite smart and decently charming. Buy the two loyalist guys weapons. Not going to buy weapons for Baozin, at least not yet. And for this turn, what I'm going to do is just top up the province a little bit. Technically don't have enough rice for a full month, but that's okay. I have close to the full month, and I probably won't need that long to win if I actually fight anybody. Unless it's Liu Bei, but he usually is pretty good at not invading his allies, so... Which we are. And... Okay, I didn't have anyone left, that's what I thought. So we probably won't quite get to an attack yet. But we are gonna be soon ready for one. I would say for sure by the third episode I'll be ready to attack Hain Fu. Yuan Shao has more, potentially, depending how many he was able to run away with, has more quality generals, well, in terms of especially war ability, but they're also kind of scumbag turncoats. Now, mind you, quite a few of the guys in this game are scumbag turncoats, so that's a relative term, but I'm trying to use gold this time. Do a small amount of training just to finish that off. Because after I assigned the soldiers, it dropped to 96. Now I'm actually going to view a couple places. First of all, Yuan Shao. Wow, 11 trust. That's awful. Absolute scumbag. So I could take him out easily. He only has one decent guy. And it seems like he has them trained up, but he didn't arm them properly, so I could still easily win that. And Hain Fu. Yeah, like I could just basically walk in and pretty much bribe them off the field. He's at least smart enough to arms in ping, which is good. I bet you Cao Cao's trust is in like the 20s. 15, yeah. Shen Pei, Yan Liang, Lian Liang, Chun Yu Kiang, Ma Yan. Gao Gan has 17 loyalty. He's not a good general by any means, but I almost want to take him just because he has 17 goddamn loyalty. And Zhao Chu, but Zhao Chu's kind of a scumbag if I remember. It's hard to keep track of how many both named and lesser scumbag generals are actually in this game because everybody's turned on me at some point. Is that the same free general? Yeah. I'm pretty sure he's a planted general, but He may not be. He may just be somebody that they usually have working for them because they find them as a free, but didn't hire them this game, because that happens. I suspect he's a plant. Although seeing that there's a guy in Wan Chao's territory with like 17 loyalty, and they eventually, if they're that low, will just leave on their own, will just quit and become free generals. It wouldn't surprise me if that happened either. Now that you're in the 90s, you can have weapons. Seriously. Okay. You're making a terrible decision, but okay. Oh yeah, I don't have any horses left. Good. What's his loyalty? 68. Well, just so happens that I have one guy left to take his soldiers with. And the thing is, the thing with the longer Cheng Yin stays there, the more I'm tempted to take him, because he has 70 war, which is pretty good for my team right now. But the longer he stays specifically in my province, free generals usually float around if they're real free generals. Like, they'll stay in one province for 1 to 3 or 4 turns and then leave to try to get hired somewhere else. The fact he's been there that long is leading me, without moving, is leading me to think he is in fact a plant. Which, most of the time, if you're playing single player and don't search for somebody and end up with a free general, it's usually a plant, I find. Now, when me and my brother play together, if we play, we don't always, because we're both capable players who've been playing for years, we don't have to start next to each other. Although a lot of times we do and ally and joint invade a lot for trust, but if we're next to each other or close to next to each other, and we see each other search for somebody and know they were searched for, and then they end up in our province before they've likely gotten and had time to get recruited by anyone else, then I'll potentially pick them up as a bat if the other person didn't want them. But okay. So his loyalty went up to what, like 82? Yeah. So I'll reward him one more time to get him into the 90s. Basically, I'll just keep rewarding and topping people up until at least the July harvest. For now, I don't really want to recruit any more people because I'm still busy rewarding those people, so... Generally, if they're 90 plus, they're usually safe, but I try to keep them as close to a full 100 as I can. Especially with the what I call semi-sketchies. Or he can attack Anfu. Liu Bei sending some help. That could save him, because Liu Bei has some pretty good generals, depending who he sent. Yep. So I almost guarantee you either Cao Cao sent his worst guys, and or Liu Bei sent at least one of Guan Yu or Zhang Fei. Possibly both. Good thing is these guys aren't really dropping much, and when they do, it's only once in a while. So he just went to 100, didn't he? Yes, he did. Lovely. So yeah, for now, not a ton I want to do. Which that's one thing we gave about playing a game like this. It is a bit slow at tedious, depending who you start with. Like when I was watching AVN's playthrough, he was playing as either Dong Zhuo, who doesn't have the greatest generals, but has quite a few of them, or Liu Bei, who doesn't start with very many generals in Scenario 1, but they're all really good, including Liu Bei himself. So you can tend to move faster. Oh, he caught Han Fu. It's over. Han Fu is toast. I was potentially going to threaten him, but that's okay. He's not great. It would have just been an extra Mao G level body to have just for the sake of having more than anything. Sure. Funny thing is, the computer tends to ask for that and then not actually do it. I don't think I'm allied with Cao Cao. I generally don't, because he's an asshole. Yeah, no. Zinping dropped. Bao Xin dropped. Li Dian and Mao Ji did not drop. So even though he's not as good, I'll just do Bao Xin because he's the lowest. It's generally how I do it. Unless a really good guy drops really suddenly, I usually just go by who needs it the most. Because even if they're mediocre generals like that are just there as filler, I bothered to get them, so I wanted to be filler. It'd be nice if they stayed loyal enough that I can use them as such. Good, keep those damn locusts away from me. They usually only last 2 or 3 rounds, like every 2 or 3 months. So I should be fine. Because they won't usually make it that far up. Bao Xin just dropped 5 points, that's super, but nobody else dropped this turn. That'll do for now. No merchants. I was hoping to sell a little bit of rice, but that's okay. So, for now, pardon me. Oops, that was the wrong. I didn't want to impose a tax anyway. I did the wrong thing. Give. I'm just going to top that up. And then we'll drop a save. And we'll be back with another episode soon. I'm your host, Kain Drago. Peace out.